Whoa, I'm back home and but I still have a few things to say about the African Nations Cup. It's still going on, and I just finished watching the Gambia versus Cameroon game, and it's a lovely game. It's a lovely game. I have everything that you expect in a football match. Yes, so one-sided, but hey, come on, who wouldn't praise the Gambia? First time in the African Nations Cup, but then the African Nations Cup 2021, hosted by Cameroon in 2022, now have 82 goals in the tournament, 10 goals scored by Cameroon. First clean sheet by Cameroon. Abubakar, Vincent Abubakar now have a competition in his own team for the Golden Boot. Yes, in Teko Nkambi, who's got 5 goals now. And then Teko Nkambi somehow is also the highest goal scorer in the UEFA Europa Cup in Europe. So it's a beautiful one. I'm happy seeing Cameroon make progress because I mean, for Samuel Eto'o, who's a two-time winner in 2000 and 2002, Nigerian Ghana in 2000, and then Mali when they won on penalties against Senegal in 2002. You remember in 2000 they won on penalty, in 2002 they won on penalties as well. But this final go to the penalties, I don't know yet. One thing that I am almost certain of is that we're going to get more than 102 goals. Last Nations Cup in 2019 it was 102 goals. First time that the African Nations Cup was producing a more than 100 or up to 100 goals and above. This time around is already 82. We're seeing the first quarterfinal games, 82 games scored so far. We are 18 goals away from hitting 100. We are 20 goals away from equaling the 2019 feat. We are 21 goals away from setting a new goals record. Vincent Abubakar as well have a chance to keep scoring and make a record for himself. The funny thing is, in today's game, he looked a little bit underwhelming. So, I mean, it wasn't really focused. It wasn't really hitting the target the way you expect. But then there are a few things that I want to talk about African football. If you follow me on my Twitter handle, I've given a thread, or more like a debriefing of what I thought about the Super Eagles of Nigeria and why we fell. And I spread it a little bit by also adding that same problem is the reason why we don't have a goodwill on the league. I don't know if I should read my thread or if I just summarize it on the show. But one of the things on this live stream, one other thing I want to do going forward is that when we do the show, for those people who are viewing, I want us to have like interactions, like deep interactions about games and any other thing that I want to have. Let's keep it very, very civil. Let's keep it very, very nice. Because if you're coming on the show and you feel like you want to insult people, please don't do it. Because if you do, I'll give it back to you. If you want to insult maybe administrators, you have your social media platform. Use it. This platform does not support those kind of ideas. Okay. Oh, and I also don't support. Let me say it up front. I also don't support the idea that because you're subscribed to my channel or because you're following me, pushing the channel, then you are free to use the platform to insult people. I don't. It will be better if you unsubscribe, don't follow me. I'd rather have least number of followers, but we are having very civil, matured conversation than have millions of followers, but then the platform is just here to insult people. I mean, there are times where we could criticize people. Criticism is different from insulting people. Let's always remember that objective criticism is there, subjective criticism is there, criticism there generally, but insulting people does not work. Also, if you do not have fact about things you want to say, especially in a public forum like this, do say it. Because you will be corrected in a way that you will not like. I've noticed it from the last video that I did, and you will say things that you don't have facts to back. And you know the worst thing I've had to deal with in my life in broadcasting, especially when I was in Brilla. People used to say this: everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I disagree with that. Everybody's not entitled to their opinion. Everybody is entitled to their facts. If you have facts on the table, I always say to people that I'll argue anything you present in front of me. But if you give me superior facts, I'll bow to your superior facts. So I always want that to be the watchword. So you know when you're coming to Elegante TV or anything that I'm doing, you know that, look, it's not an anything good thing. It is controlled. Okay? Freedom of expression, yes, I agree. But freedom of expression within the ambit of facts and figures. Don't just show up and throw up words or comments and expect that everybody will take it, and then you hide under the, everybody's entitled to their opinion thing. So let's go. First off, one of the things that's worked well for Cameroon in this tournament, and let me read a few comments from the few comments that have arrived so that I don't bulk them up. As they're coming, I'll be reading them. Michael, I say Cameroon to win AFCON. It look like that, but this Cameroon team still have some soft spot that can be exploited by any team that is ready. Come on. Cameroon's path to the semi-finals have been dotted with some of the weakest team in Africa. That's not making. That's what the draws and the fixtures brought to them, and they've executed it very well. Comoros, Gambia, Burkina Faso, Ethiopia. Look at it. Their path to this stage had been filled. It's called in football. It's called the luck of the draw. They've got the great luck of the draw, but I don't think that they'll get the luck of the draw from the semi-finals going forward. It's going to change, and from that point, Cameroon have got to live up to their name. Host nation, it favors them, but I don't think Cameroon are convinced. Yes, they've scored 10 goals. I mean, what have they not done right that is not convincing me? But I just look at the opponent that they've played. Again, you can also blame them for the opponent because they didn't handpick them. But you could also say that even if they are smaller opponents, those smaller opponents have beaten some teams that looks very big. So we should give Cameroon their credit. But I'm not handing the trophy over to them yet. I'm going to take some time to do that. One of the things that worked well for Cameroon, and it's strange that it's a foreign coach that is making it happen. So one of the things that have worked well for Cameroon is the fact that they use the wings very, very well. I don't think there's any team in this tournament that have used the wings better than Cameroon in this tournament. So when it comes to using the wings, you have to see, what do I mean by that? Okay, Cameroon plays a 3-5-2 formation, meaning that even when they are not in possession, they have three men in the middle to break play against the opposition. But when they're in possession of the ball, they go forward with five people in the middle. Okay, so their coach have decided to play a system that works according to the strength. So let's say Vincent Abubakar is like Romelu Lukaku. Maybe not as big, but what Tony Kazakao has done, okay, the Portuguese coach has done, is to play to the strength of his players in the way he sets up his team. And I like it that when you have a team, they say coaching is about, using what you have to achieve what you desire based on how you play to the strength of your team. So Toko Ekambi is a goal scorer. We all know him for that. And he's lived up to that billing. 5 goals so far in this tournament. Abubakar is also a goal scorer. He come from the old. First, the team have a perfect balance, okay, of experience and youth. I'm sorry, but NEPA have taken the light. I'm back home to Nigeria. This is how you know you are back in Nigeria, okay? But it won't change anything. I mean, the conversation still continue. So for Cameroon, they have two players up front who are very good goal scorers. But look at it carefully. Abubakar is not a super runner, like pacey player, but he's got power play. And he knows how to draw attention. On the other hand, he's a runner, very, very athletic, very flexible. He goes up and down, zip backward, join the midfield when they lose the ball, come into attack, goes wide, exchange position with Fai, or sometimes come to the other side, Momi, and is battling everybody. He's a battling ram in terms of running. Same way Abubakar is also a battling ram in terms of area prowess, body size. If you need somebody to use body to get advantage, he's the guy to go to. So on the front line, you have two players who are very fantastic. And then in midfield, you have Honga, Anguissa, and Coet, who for me are fantastic. But the very, very strength of this Cameroonian team, I wouldn't say Onana, because Onana have not gotten touch of the ball much in this tournament. But you've got a back line, a 3-man at the back, the Tolo, Ungadeo, and the other guy who really, really, really are living up to the billing, fighting and putting everything. They are feisty at the back. They know how to clear the ball very well. They know how to clean up, the messes at the back, making sure that the opposition does not find balance. And the way Anguissa does it is they lose the ball, he joins the center back and make them fall, and then the other guys collapse into it, and then they keep a low block. Once they get the ball again, they put a spring to expand themselves and spread themselves wide on the field. It works for them. Now look at the Cameroonian team. 80% of their goals have come from crosses. Wide men running wide and then crossing, whether on the ground or in the air. Whereas you compare them to the Nigerian team and a few other teams that have been knocked out of this tournament, you will notice that, yes, they run wide too. They have not been able to convert chances well because the crosses are either too heavy, it goes from one end of the field to the very the other end, or it goes over everybody and it doesn't really threaten the opposition. That in itself is one of the areas where Nigeria, a team like Nigeria, using Nigeria as a case study, failed in this tournament. Cameroon, on the other hand, have succeeded where we failed because the white man gets the ball, first raise their head, know where their teammate is, put the ball in. Even when they are not scoring, they are troubling the opposition defense, meaning that the opposition cannot just confidently stroll forward and say, who is there? They are not on our level. That has worked well for Cameroon. And it's strange because it's a foreign coach. I was thinking that, oh, African coach will know that this is what is good for African football. This is the best part of African football. Spreading the ball wide, using the width of the field, and then crossing the ball with a pinpoint accuracy and getting results. But unfortunately, that has not happened. Hamza Abiola Abdullahi said, I think this competition is Cameroon to lose. I agree with you, but they've not really played stiff opposition. I still insist on that. This is not me raining on their parade. This is not me trying to disrespect them, but it's just my thought of the opposition that they played. And it's not their fault, once again. It's not their fault. It wants to drop puts in front of you that you will play. So it's not like they rigged it or it's match fixing. It just wasn't, for me, it's not like the tough opposition where you expect them to play a Cote d'Ivoire, for instance, like when you saw Egypt slug it out with Cote d'Ivoire, win on penalty, or, Nigeria in this tournament, before they got knocked out, had already, they played Tunisia, played Egypt, two North African giants. I mean, it was always going to be difficult to conquer two North African teams in this tournament. So, I'm still waiting. The jury is still out on them. Let's see who they play next, and let's see them get to the final. Hamza Abiola Abdullahi said, they are taking each one after the other. I think they are prime favorite. Yeah, they are one of the favorite. Yeah, no, prime, I don't know, but there's really no prime favorite for this tournament. Michael said Nigeria really needs to win against Ghana. Apparently, they are looking at Ganatroa to be their head coach. Yes, and I spoke to Ganatroa today, and he said that they've reached out to him, but he's not made up his mind yet. He's not made up his mind yet whether he wants to go to neighboring Ghana. But what I heard is that Ghana are using Nigeria as their how do I call it now? As their PowerPoint presentation, saying that look, Nigeria used to owe you long salaries. Nigeria does not allow you the freedom to do this or do that, to do that. We are going to double your salary. You earn $45,000 in Nigeria, and you were paying your 3 backroom staff that you brought in, your video analyst, your match analyst, and then your other coach. We are going to take the responsibility of those coaches. We're going to pay you $80,000 a month. Ghana is wicked. We're going to pay you that. But beyond that, all your other backroom staff that you're going to bring, plus the Ghanaians that will have that work with you, we'll pay those ones $25,000 each, which is another $75,000. So $80,000 plus $75,000, that's about $155,000. Where Nigeria was struggling crazily to pay $45,000, and majority of Nigerian journalists were busy, complaining, oh, what a coach is earning $45,000. And I was wondering why Nigerian journalists were saying that. Because every time they write that, or every time I hear them talk that on radio or television, they don't add the fact that the man is paying 3 of his backroom staff. See, one of the reasons why Nigeria failed, and I don't want to say it because people are like, oh, that way, because you came very close to the camp. One of the reasons why Nigeria failed at this AFCON against Tunisia is because you don't have backroom staff. You just have a group of people who are just there filling space, eating fat, and having fun. I'm sorry for saying this because, because you came into the camp now, you know all this thing. Nobody was watching Tunisia. Nobody was analyzing Tunisia. Iguavan was busy training the team, which is his job. But it was supposed to have somebody scouting the opposition and then analyzing them critically. We just went there like, oh, we're Nigeria now. Come on, if we can beat Egypt, it means we can beat anybody. If we can cage Mo Salah, we can cage anybody. But then you forget that the same way we plan for Mo Salah and Egypt, people were beginning to plan for us. We did not look at that. We did not check. We did not say, okay, what's going on in the camp of the opposition? We didn't have spies. We're all focused on we are good, which is not bad, but we're not God. Okay, it's only God that is almighty, according to the Bible. I'm not saying God. Okay, but we got the results of what our output could get. But Ghana is saying they want to go to the World Cup and they are already prepared. Why was they dealing with to be or not to be, whether to bring Jose Pesero or to keep Iguavan? Ghana already setting their minds on, you know what? If there's anybody who knows Nigeria better, it is Gernot Rohr. If there's anybody who can get into the heads and minds of the Nigerian players, it is Gernot Rohr. So let's go bring him. Well, he really didn't do bad with Nigeria. He qualified for all the competition that he entered for. If you remember, in the last 10 years, Nigeria have missed out from the AFCON 3 times, right? We've won one, missed out 3 times, one came third, and then just now, we now got knocked out in the round of 16, first ever round of 16 in the competition, we got knocked out, okay? But, you know, flip it the other way around. Just flip it another way around. And you tell yourself that Ghana is saying to Gernot Rohr, come and coach us. That revenge that you want on Amaju and the Nigerian media and everybody, this is your best chance to get it. Would Ghana beat Nigeria? I don't know. I respect Gernot Rohr. It's my friend. And I think he's a good coach. Even though Nigerians see it like that, it's not just enough to be a good coach. You also have to have the resources, the material. Does Ghana have that material? I don't think they do. I think that there are too many divided camp, too many broken camp. This Ghana team right now reminds me of the Ghana that had Tony Yeboah and the rest of them that didn't do well. It also reminds me of the Super Eagles of France 98. Quality players here and there, but we didn't do well because the camps were ready. The team was polarized by divided groups here and there. Everybody wants to have their voices said. Nobody was working collectively for the good of the team. That was the problem of Nigeria in 98. That was also the problem of Ghana when they had Tony Yeboah and the rest. Great players individually, but collectively, they just couldn't form together to achieve something. I think that that's one of the things that will work against Gernot Rohr. Because when Gernot Rohr came to Nigeria, I mean, look at it. These players that we have, though are still young, we're still relatively younger. The only old player in the Super Eagles when he came in was Victor Moses, Judo Gallo, John Obi Mikel. All the others were infants coming through the rank. So he could blood them, control them, and them feeling like, oh, this is a coach that gave us the opportunity, just like Westerhoff did. Okay, well, not like Westerhoff was a great, fantastic coach, especially if you go and read this book. I have been saying that anyway. If you go and read this book, okay, the 94 team was my coming of age team. And most times when I hear today's journalists say it is like, oh, any coach have to do like Westerhoff. Westerhoff was not good. Westerhoff was a coach that almost everybody in Nigerian football almost want to kill that time. But then history will always paint you as a hero. That's one of the things that I know with history. You know how when you go to maybe your uncle's service of song or somebody that you know very well while he was alive, they have service of song, and then people start coming out. It happened when my uncle died. People start coming out to give testimony, and you say, everybody, if you give 50 people the microphone, they only speak good about the person. I'm like, wait a minute. This guy wasn't all that good. This guy was terrible. This guy was mean, was useless. But that's how life is, right? So history will always paint every coach good. But I think that those are some of the things that we need to fix. Would Nigeria qualify for the World Cup? If that's a question that anybody's throwing at me, I'm going to say yes. I'm in Nigeria. I love Nigeria. Well, as we progress, do me a favor, please. If you're not subscribed to this channel, do well to subscribe to the channel. Click on the notification button. So whenever I'm going live or putting up any content, you will be among the first people to see. Having said that, let me read some of the comments that we have there. Nigeria really needs to win against Ghana. Apparently, they are looking at Gernot Rohr to be their head coach. Yes, they are. Oluwaseyi Adebowale, he said Cameroon still hasn't been tested, in my opinion. I agree with you 100% on that one. And then he went for that. He said the winner of Morocco versus Egypt will win the tournament. It's also very, very possible. It's very, very, very possible. Emmanuel Okonta, he said they were a class of their own. Gambia did not match them, and they could have played for 10 hours. Gambia would not have really troubled them. I agree with you on that one too. And then Emmanuel Okonta went further to say Abubakar is used by the coach to hold the attention of the center back to open the lane for their players, for other players. Yes. And then Makawan came in and said, I'm surprised that Choupo-Moting doesn't get that much playing time. Choupo-Moting is a lucky guy, great agent, but I really don't think he's really showed anywhere, whether at Bayern or at anywhere he's played, that he's a great player. But one thing I cannot deny him is that he have a great agent, great management team that look after him, that make sure he gets to be on some great clubs. But fantastic player, is a great world-class player. I don't think so. I might be wrong, and this is not me rubbishing him, but that's just my personal opinion. I've not really seen him light up any season for maybe 10 consecutive games. Because my bad, the way I judge players, let me see what you do for 10 games in a season. That becomes a pattern. Like, okay, there's consistency for 10 straight games. This is a pattern. This is who you are. This defines you. Maybe other bad game could be a day off or a day or two off. I'm not saying that with Chipomoting. Okay. So it's hard for me to really, rate him high there. But man, that doesn't stop him from playing. But if you look at the attack, like Emmanuel Okonta said, Abubakar already have a rule. Draw attention to yourself. Make sure 2 or 3 players focuses on you because of your sheer power, your brilliance, not much brilliance, but your brawn, your brute force. There's going to be attention on you. Now, the next thing is not to put a fine boy Chipomoting around him. It's to put a runner, like a cricket runner around him. And the best person to put in that position is the guy that they put in his position. Because look at it very well. Karl Toko Ekambi is a fantastic player, right? You can't take that away from him. And no matter how we look at it, this season, for instance, in the league, is played, how many games is played now? 2021-2022 season is played in 3 games, scored 5 goals, created 2 assists, picked up 2 yellow card, but no red card. But he's a guy to rely on. One of his best season was last season where he played 35 games and scored 14, created 6. So you want to have that kind of player around your main striker. And then in this tournament, he scored 5 goals already. You can't force such kind of a player. You can't drag him down. So no, he's your go-to guy. It's the guy you go to. Practically scoring just about every game he gets a chance. Against Ethiopia, he got 2. Against Comoros, he got 1. And today he got 2. That's 5. Vincent Abubakar is on 6. Chipomoting gotta wait his time. It's not the guy that the coach will want to depend on right now. But it doesn't mean that he shouldn't bring him in as sub in the second half or so. Okay. Where was I? Makewa said, I'm surprised that Chipomoting doesn't get that play time. I thought it would be one of their major players, but Cameroon is doing really well with Akambi and Abubakar. I agree with you. And then went for that. I say, any updates on the Super Eagles head coach? Will Eguavon remain or will Pesero take over? So the conversation around it is, behind the scene, the sports minister is saying, why bring a foreign coach? The team played well. What did you people ask for? I don't know if it is sarcasm or anything, but what the guy says is, you people wanted a coach that will coach the team to play well, play beautiful football. This coach gave it to you. So that was the target. The target was never to win the Nations Cup or anything. So he played well. Leave him there. Somewhere, a group of people still think we should get a foreign coach that Eguavon have reached the end of the line. Okay? There is no opportunity. Let's say he's not a lucky coach. That's the talk. They're not saying he's a bad coach. You don't want to label him a bad coach. But they're saying he's not a lucky coach. Every time he's taken a team, he took an under-17 team to the World Cup in 2003. First time in the history of football, they had to toss a coin and he didn't win it. He took the under-23 team to do well. He took under-15 team to South Africa. They played all the way to finals, did very well. They had Tolu Arokodare and a few other guys there, lost to Atletico Madrid. They just started around him. 2006 went to the Nations Cup, did very, very well. By the end of the day, everything messed up and then he lost and won a bronze medal for us. Point is, they are not saying, hey, we're not saying he's not a good coach, but what we're just saying is the man does not have luck, and let's not have hard luck now go and stop us from qualifying for the World Cup because it will be a major disaster. So that's what everybody is looking at. Would they change their mind? Right now, I'm not even pushing because, to be very honest with you, I'm super exhausted. Went to Cameroon with the hope that we'll get to at least the quarterfinals or the semifinals. So that, because to do what I'm doing, to complete the production that I'm doing, we need 100,000 hours of footage, 100,000 hours of footage to be able to get there. We only got just a little. And then this match against Ghana, home and away, and then traveling to meet some of the players, it's really not really that much of a footage to see. So personally, I feel really, really disappointed. But hey, my disappointment had nothing to do with Nigeria. Let's focus on Nigeria winning. I think it's going to take a very strong will from the NFF anyway to appoint a foreign coach. So right now, let's just keep our fingers crossed and see that Eguavon would oversee the game in March. What happens thereafter, I cannot say right now. I don't know. I won't lie to you. I don't have any that inside information, no source. Biggest information that I got today is that Judo Gallo is leaving Al Shabaab to Al Hilal, and cross of the matter is Al Shabaab last minute changed their mind from letting him go. As a matter of fact, he's booked a flight 4 hours to the flight. They called him and said they're not going to let him go. And since then, he's not been happy. He's wanted out. And Al Hilal have already made a contract, 1 year contract that will run from now to, or let's say 1 year, 6 months from now to summer, June of 2023. So he will leave Al Shabaab, who is led to, an enviable high, top goal scorer for the club, top goal scorer in the league, and he will go to Al Hilal. Let's see what comes out of that one anyway. But that's a side conversation. But for Iguagon, I don't know. Will he stay? Will he not stay? I don't know. Tammy Pekerebia, he said Cameroon are a direct side. The ball moves to the strikers as quick as possible. And among most African teams remaining, their strikers are actually in form. Home field advantage is also there. I agree with you 100%. Nobody could have said it way, way better than this. Tammy Pekerebia, I said, Morocco and Cameroon are the most likely winners of this tournament. I agree with you too. I can argue. Adero Drew Henry, it's a good evening to you. Emmanuel Okonta, man, you and Makiwa, you guys are consistent, please send the people to come and pick the jersey. I'm traveling first thing Monday morning to Abuja. Your jersey will be hanging here, and anybody can just go and spy it and steal it. Just please send the people to come. I think tomorrow there will be not much traffic. Tomorrow will be a very good time to send whoever is supposed to come pick up the jersey. Let them come pick up the jersey. Just call me at any time they're coming. I mean, I'll be here to hand the jersey over to them because I'm traveling to Abuja on Monday, and I most likely will stay for the whole week. I don't know. I might change my mind, but for now, I'm all set and booked to go to Abuja on Monday and hopefully stay for the whole week and then come back again next weekend. So next live video I'll be doing will either be from my studio on Monday morning or from Abuja, depending on the time that my flight is taking up. So please send them to come pick it up. Emmanuel Okota, I say Kanu is rated very highly as a player, but I don't remember him lighting up any league, 10 games a season in any league. Okay, what you said, I've said it in many occasions, many private conversations, and even in public conversation. So the thing with Kanu is, as much as he has not lit up many league games all through his career, he never did. But there's something that dots his career. Played for Iwan National, they won the league in 1991. Played at the under-17 in 1993. 2 years later, we won the under-17 cup. And remember, before we won the under-17 cup, we had not won it since 1985. So that was the second time, but the first time in a long while that we're winning it. So it was there. 3 years later at the Olympics in 1996, again, he was on the team. Key moment. So you call him a key moment player. Played for Ajax, they won the Champions League and then got to the finals the following year. They went to Inter Milan, didn't even kick a ball at all. They won the UEFA Cup. And then he went to Arsenal. Kanu Nwankwo never played 10 consecutive games at any time. But guess what? People will always remember that hat-trick against Chelsea in October because of the way and manner, 15 minutes to go, the way and manner those ones came in. And then it also coincided with the time where Arsenal started winning. So there's just that thing about him and titles following him. Now, to crown it all up, as we will say in the street, you got pata of them all. He went to a dead, dying club, okay, Portsmouth, in debt, facing administration. They went all the way and won the FA Cup. And Kanu Nwankwo was very, very pivotal and instrumental to that team. Went to West Bromwich Albion, they survived relegation. So all of those things stood Kanu Nwankwo out, right? As much as he didn't play consecutively, he stood him out. And in those games, because I know you're relating it to what I said about Chupamoti, in those teams, there were key moments where he was the brain behind the team turning his head. Kanu Nwankwo didn't score those goals against Brazil, against Dida in the semifinals. We won't be talking about Amonike, Amokachi, Tinkipeba Owu scoring the finals to give us the win in Atlanta. Kanu Nwankwo didn't score those goals in 98 or so. I was in 98 or 99. against 99 also against Chelsea. Arsenal wouldn't have gone on to end the season winning the double. So you look at all of those things, and then the goals is scored for Portsmouth in the quarterfinals and semi-finals that led to them winning the FA Cup. They score those goals, you won't say anything about it. It's just like Kelechi Iheanacho, not really lit up the game anywhere, Man City or I mean apart from 117, but somehow he went to Leicester, scored the only player Premier League history to score every single day of the week, and then that season they end up winning the FA Cup, and he was the highest goal scorer of the FA Cup that season. So those little things will stand them out. For Choupo-Moting, I can't see that. Yes, he's played for Bayern, he's played for Paris Saint-Germain, but can anybody remind me of when he lit up the whole show? Like in 2, 3, or 4, 5 games where he showed up and then he changed the game. For Ajax, for instance, I remember the game against PSV Eindhoven where Ronaldo da Lima was blistering, was tearing everybody apart, was a wonder worker. Kanuako was in that game. That game ended 3-2. Ronaldo da Lima scoring 2, Kanuako scoring as well. But the thing was that it was key in that game. Those are the things that stand Kanuako out. Played 5 or 6 African Nations Cup, never scored a goal, even struggled to score penalty. When he had to play penalty in 2000, he also missed. But he was a highlight player that dotted the highlights of the game at very, very key moment. Choupo-Moting, you can't say that of him. I can't remember him really do all that. So that's the difference between Kanuako in this context of the discussion and Choupo-Moting. Nobody would even reason, let's be very honest, you want to compare players, you can't compare Choupo-Moting with Kanuako. Not because Kanuako is in Nigeria, but that's a fact. If you're calling African greats today, and you start Samuel Eto'o at the top, you put in George Opongwe, you start calling other people. You know that some people would even call Kanuako before Mikel Obi. You know, that's the strange thing. So you have to be able to light up the games in terms of trophy won or in terms of key moments in games. And I don't think Choupo-Moting have those key moments in key games. That's what sets him back as against players like Kanuako and the likes. Okay, so they've come to this African Nations Cup, for instance. I've not seen any key moment of him. Even if they go on to win this Nations Cup, you will remember him as a squad member who won the Nations Cup, but you will remember him as you will remember Vincent Abubakar, or you will remember Ekambi, for instance, because he's just there. It's just there, fine man, good beard, looking all good, fine, finish. Not really for footballing reason. So it's going to be hard. I will encourage we leave Iguavon as our coach. Okay? We just need to hire this backroom staff to augment the hard work that Coach Iguavon is currently doing. I agree with you on that too, but the guys are in charge. I told myself when I came back from Cameroon that, listen, I'm not going to get involved in trying to, influence any decision or say, hey, I think you should do this. I'm just going to stay on my own. I'm just going to do my work, focus on my film, focus on my media, grow my numbers on my YouTube channel, grow my numbers on my radio app, and see how far it goes. I mean, time for me to be a CEO and a producer that I am doing this road that I've decided to take. Let me see it. I want to rise now from the ground level. I'm done with trying to just be a startup. I tell my team every day, I say, okay, well, we've tried this startup for like 4 years. Okay, we're upcoming. Let's break the ceiling now. Let's get out of the ceiling and then let's tell people we are here. Let's announce ourselves we are here. And I think 2022 is a year where I want to announce that. I want to make that announcement. I want to say to everybody we're here. I still get people telling me every day that, look, you can't get the numbers that you desire. You can't get the 1 million subscribers thing that you desire. That's their opinion. I've heard this kind of talk from many people. I want to focus on this and see how it goes. But having said that, I obviously use my platform to say what I think. But I would also, if the NFF tomorrow wake up and say, what Pesero we don't want to go again, I'm not going to be angry. I'm going to give Pesero 100% support. Just the same way I gave Genotro, the same way I gave Sando Lise, the same way I gave Eguavon. I'm going to get the next person because Nigerian interest should be bigger than whatever personal interest or personal bias that I have. So that's the way I seen it. I put my mind in that direction. Might not be nice to some people. Some of you might not be happy that I'm saying that, but it is what it is as far as I'm concerned. Emmanuel, because I say my nephew will call you, okay? I'll be expecting his call after this live video. We still have 26 more minutes to the end of it. Hybrid 10, my guy. pillar and supporter of this project, my fellow shareholder. Yes. It's idea. Tony Pekerebia, he said, your thoughts so far on the quality of teams this AFCON and their chances at the World Cup. To you, which African country or countries can go far in the World Cup? That's a deep one. Okay, so World Cup. World Cup is more than. So I've been to the AFCON. I saw these teams play. I've also been to the World Cup. And my introduction to football was the 1986 World Cup. And since then, I fell in love with it. I have a very special attachment to the World Cup. And then between the year 1998, okay, 1998 was when I started having the thought. But then between the year 2002 and now, I've tried to study the science and economics of the World Cup. There's no team in Africa that can win the World Cup in our lifetime. I'm sorry to say. Even if they give us 15 slots, there's no African team that can win the World Cup in our lifetime. African teams always do the things that will destroy them. What is that thing that will do? Africa is the only continent that does not have its own style of play. A definite African style of play that, okay, you look at the African geography of Africa first, because we need to bring all that into having this conversation. Africa is divided into practically 5 zones. Okay, you have the North Africa, the West Africa, the Central Africa, East Africa, and South Africa. In the north, you have countries like Algeria, Egypt, Libya, Morocco, Sudan, Tunisia, and what you call the Western Arab. And then you also have in the East Africa, you have Burundi, Cameroon, Djibouti, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya, Madagascar, that we all thought was a movie, not knowing it's a country until 2019 when they beat Nigeria 1-0. Malawi, Mauritius, Mozambique, Rwanda, Seychelles, Somalia, South Sudan, Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. I mean, I used to think that Zambia and Zimbabwe, as well as the other ones, are part of the southern region of Africa anyway. But I looked at the map and it was different. And then you have Central Africa, where you have Angola, Cameroon, Central African Republic, or CAR. Then you have Chad, you have Democratic Republic of Congo, Republic of Congo itself. So there's Congo Brazzaville and Congo Kinshasa, okay, Zaire, formerly Zaire. And then you have Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, and the rest. South Africa is very easy now. The map says that they have Botswana, Lesotho, Namibia, South Africa, and Swaziland. West coast of Africa, you have Benin Republic, Burkina Faso, Cape Verde, Gambia, Gabon, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, all the GGGG in the West Coast. Ivory Coast, Libya, Mali, Mauritania, Niger, Nigeria, Senegal, Sierra Leone, and Togo. The North Africa, by virtue of their closeness to Europe, are more developed, advanced, okay, in terms of infrastructure, everything. But they've also not created a good style of play. Did North Africa have a style of play that is more dependent on trick, not like skill, trick? They try to play the quick movement transition like Europeans, but then there is also the dirty side of them. That's not going to work for them in the World Cup. So Tunisia would rather have their players falling on the ground, feigning injury. It's not going to help you for World Cup. World Cup players are too advanced. Those guys are trained both technically, tactically, and scientifically. So it will not help. West Coast of Africa, which is the power base, okay, in terms of talent, plays on speed, power, and flair. But our flair, especially Ghana and Nigeria, is more South American than even European. So we're caught up in this maze of confusion that is also affecting Brazil now. Our players go to Europe early. They start learning football in Europe or relearning football, or learning what they learn in Africa and relearning football because they are overwhelmed and wowed by the facilities and efficiency and professionalism that they meet. They want to meet up to them. That's why West Africa is the only region that people travel from and they come back with accent. Look at Mo Salah. As long as he stayed in Europe, his accent has not changed. He's still a pure Arab man. Even when he speaks English with his Arab slur. But it's only in West Africa where we go to Europe and come back with American accent, which means that we have a mental inferiority complex. And I'm sorry, I'm not disrespecting anybody with this one, but it's just my observation. I don't want to put in Central Africa, okay, there's Cameroon, but Central Africa and East Africa in this conversation. Winning the World Cup is not for them. Only Cameroon can even stand up and say, okay, from Central Africa, we can go and compete at the World Cup. I mean, Angola, Chad, DR Congo, and they are going to qualify for this World Cup. DR Congo are going to qualify for this World Cup. I know that they say they are playing Morocco, right? Sorry, Morocco, you're not going to this World Cup. DR Congo is going to the World Cup. And, Gabon, all these other countries really can't qualify for World Cup and go and prove themselves. So it is down to the teams on the West Coast. Now, Ghana and Nigeria are already two West African countries that are going to cancel themselves out. So only one team from West Africa is going to be in that World Cup slot. So that's a problem. Now, let me come to the real question that you ask. My take of the African Nations Cup. What I see of the African Nations Cup is the smaller teams, people say that they have grown. They have not grown. The smaller teams have lost respect for the bigger teams because in other qualifiers, they've seen that the bigger teams are not really teams that you fold and play against. Only Cameroon have shown that, and they did that not against Burkina Faso, but against Ethiopia. So when you play against them, you are still afraid, one, that they would do you bad. By winning Ethiopia 4-1, Cameroon showed to the rest of the small African countries that, look, we're not Nigeria, we're not Ghana, we're not all those people. If you come play us, we will die with you. Okay, Comoros tried, but they still won. So that's that about them. So the rest of the African countries are going to show up at the World Cup, still being overawed, overwhelmed, still wanting to collect autograph jerseys, still want to play for contract. While the European teams are playing just to win for their country, just to get honors. And we could play against, if you look at it historically, let's use Nigeria as a case study. Historically, we've not managed to conquer any big team in the World Cup. Cameroon can tell you that in 1990 they conquered Argentina, right? And it's big. But look at Nigeria. Every time we come up against a big side, Argentina, we've lost. Italy, we've lost. Argentina, in like many times, we've always lost because they are a big team. There's always a fear. Hey guys, welcome. I like your hair. You look good. And all of that stuff. We've always come short because there's just something missing. Now, going into this World Cup, we have maximum. We have a window of 2 games, which is the qualifiers in March. And then the World Cup is going to come up in November. So there's quite a few friendly matches we've not prepared. When I was in the World Cup in 2014, somebody said that to win the World Cup, you need the consistency of 2 years prior to the World Cup to win the World Cup. So look at some of the teams that have won the World Cup. Either they've won the Euro the 2 years before and then they came on to win the World Cup, or, they have been on a run. They've been on a run. And looking at the next World Cup, Italy does look like a team, even though they're going to play playoff, does look like a team that will go to the finals, and then maybe one of that team, Argentina also, I don't know, that will go to the finals, and it will be a battle between Argentina and Italy. I don't know yet. But if you look at the Nigerian team or the Ghanaian team, so this is me not putting a balance, not saying that Nigeria will qualify, Ghana will qualify, anyone qualifies. Look at the Cameroonian team too. This African Nations Cup look like after now they will over celebrate and come down if they win it. Morocco, these other teams that have qualified to play in the playoff, almost all of them does not have what it takes, even if they win and go through to go on to do anything in the World Cup. So it's still going to be get past the group stage, get knocked out to round of 16. Highest an African team can go is the quarterfinals. We don't have what it takes to go past the quarterfinals because we are not a planning continent. We don't plan, prepare, and say, okay, this is the target. Let's go for the World Cup and get to the most dreaded semifinals. We don't have that. Then we also don't have players that, because the World Cup, the best of the best comes. We don't have players that can match up. If you bring the best of our striker, they cannot match up with the best of some of the European or South American striker. So they are under the radar. And then what you cannot get with star players, normally you do with the collective of a team. Like we saw of Greece in 2004, we saw of Denmark in 1992 at the Euros, we saw Zambia at the Nations Cup in 94, even though they lost to Nigeria, and the Nations Cup in 2012 when they won it. None of these teams really that have that closely, highly knitted team that can back on the strength of team play, good astute tactical ability, match reading ability, and departmental coaching like good goalkeeping coaching, good defensive coaching, good attacking coaching that cannot come together and harmonize. Rather, we always have issues going to the World Cup who is going to be on the trip, people that are fighting for money, people that want to gain recognition. Take, for instance, the many distractions we have going into this AFCON. Today is the governor of the central bank is not coming to promise money that he doesn't have, or the owner of Epis. I'm not saying those things is bad 100%, but you could tie those things to the sponsorship contract already before going into the tournament. That, look, NFL, this is the money we're giving to you. But part of that money, this one is going to come from us directly. Every time the team plays, each goal they score, this is the money we'll give to them. Make it open, make public, and they know how they will get the money across. But to come in every day, I think it's a tad bit, little bit distraction, and people just wanting to use the Nations Cup or the Super Eagles to first start their name and put their name in front. Is it bad? No. If I'm sponsoring too, guys, I will do the same thing. If I'm sponsoring the Super Eagles and I'm providing you a plane that will take you to matches everywhere, cut down the expenses. One Super Eagles game costs 350 million naira. To help you cut down that expenses, I'll do the same thing. But I think that the people that run our football should do it differently. And that's not only in Nigeria, it happens across all of Africa. So I don't think African teams can go far. The Nations Cup, well, it's been nice, but I think that officiating have been bad. There have been more bad spots in this Nations Cup than good spots. 6 people died in the Olympic Stadium. We cannot pretend about that one. Improper security. But for my experience in Garoua, I think that the people who are doing the COVID testing, fantastic. I spent 10 days in South Africa. In Cameroon, I did about 30 COVID tests. That's crazy, right? Going to stadium like every single day, you do like 2 or 3 times every single day, and it's crazy. But that's fine. First, I've not done COVID tests like that before, so that's fine. The people that work, the staff, to the CAF officials that are in charge of taking care of the teams, I think they also did well. They do well. Super Eagles, some members of the backroom staff are incredibly professional. People like the kit manager, Chidi, Dayo Enebiacho, who's the team administrator, a few other guys, even the coach. But that team needs reinforcement, and I think the same thing for Ghana. I think the same thing for Cameroon even. I think the same thing for others. Let's be less political and be more professional and more technical. We just might get the job done, but not this next World Cup. The World Cup, the only thing that seems to want to favor us a bit is it's going to be played in Asia. Okay? The last time the World Cup was played in Asia, an African team, Senegal, almost got all the way because it favors them. The weather favors African players. So if we put our hearts together, it just might work for us. Just might work for us. But I think on the technical side, on the coaching side, I won't lie, we don't have it. We just don't. There's just something in me that says, oh, we don't have it. And I can't bank on it. Maybe next time, but I can't bank on it completely. Where did I stop? What's the last question? Thank God of him. Where did I stop? Man, let me comment that comment. Okay, he said your thoughts. Okay, I've said that. Abiodun Lawa, he said, do you think Cameroon are now the outright favorite to win the AFCON now? So, no, they're not. Like I said earlier on, they've had like the weakest opposition to play. There is still the Morocco-Egypt game. Anybody who wins that game is as good a favorite, because if Egypt wins, Egypt would have succeeded in overcoming defeat to Nigeria, beating Cote d'Ivoire, which is a strong team, and also beating Morocco. If Morocco wins, they would have also come through a long, tight race and get to the place where they are. So that's the favorite is coming from the Nigerian side of town more than the Cameroonian side of town, because Cameroon's opposition up the way to the semi-finals seem very, very beatable by Cameroon's standards. So those are things that Cameroon is meant to beat at all time. There is no strong way of saying, this team would have beaten Cameroon. No, I think that Cameroon has still not played the strongest side, but that's not taking anything away from them. Desmond Judy said Egypt will win AFCON. Well, let them pass Morocco first. Hybrid Tennis says, I have been down since Nigeria got eliminated. It affected me too, because apart from the pains of losing money and not getting what I was looking for, that affected me. So emotionally, it did affect me. And I was trapped in that place for a couple of days before we flew out. I said I've been down since Nigeria got eliminated. To be honest, I disconnected from everything football until today. I stopped watching the AFCON. Sorry about that one. I understand, but you have to come back. Abiodun Lawa, that's a bold statement you just made, dear boss. Edafi, that no African team can win the World Cup anytime soon. Yes, it's not a bold statement, it's the reality of things. We don't have the economy to support a winner. Look at the World Cup previous winners. Have you seen any minor country win the World Cup? Just think about it. No minor country have won the World Cup. That's one. Two, no country with a bad league have won the World Cup. Every time a team wins the World Cup, their league is good. And not just that, it's predominantly dominated by their own players. So Spain have always had a league that is good, but predominantly dominated by foreigners. The first time the two pillars of Spanish football, Barcelona and Real Madrid, produced a generation of players that climax into the national team. They not only won the World Cup, they won the World Cup and won the Euros. Look at it very well. Germany, the same thing. Look at all the countries that have won it. They name one African country that is on that level. None. We have players that Nigeria, African countries are the only countries that will present 11 players playing for 11 different clubs, 11 different philosophy, 11 different ideology, 11 different mentalities, and sometimes 11 players playing from, say, 9 or 8, 7 different leagues. Mentality, philosophies are different. And then they have like 5 or 10 days to prepare for a major competition. My dear, we can't win the World Cup on that front. We can't. And it doesn't look like it's going to change in our lifetime. So please, it's not going to happen. You don't win the World Cup by luck. You can win the African Nations Cup by luck, but you don't win the World Cup by luck. Somewhere, you're going to play against those big nations that would shock you. So you win one of them, and then the rest like, oh God, no, that's not going to happen. And then don't forget that Ganatra said it in 2018, but we didn't listen to him. And I've seen that happen across football. Every time a big country like Argentina versus Nigeria is playing, 50-50 opportunities, the referee will call it for the big country. Africa don't have that kind of power. So in those cases, it will always count against all the African countries that have come. This is reality. This is my opinion. This is reality that we face all through our lives, and it will continue. Once Africa was given the chance to progress, Asamoah Gyan, the pressure was too much, he missed his penalty. So we must always look at all of those factors in football. But let's keep our fingers crossed and see how it goes. But I must say to you, not in our lifetime. That's my position. I'm waiting for them to surprise me. I'm very happy. I mean, most of us that are here still have 50, 60, 70, some 30 years to live on this face of this earth. That's pretty long time for many World Cup to be played, especially with this battle for it to be played twice. I mean, once every 2 years. But still, we don't have what it takes. That's just my position. Makiwa Michael says, why is it that there are only 5 slots for Africa countries at the World Cup? Do you think it is justified? And do you think Africa will ever have more slots? Yeah, Africa will have more slots when the World Cup expands to 32 nations. There's already more slots for Africa. I think we have 9 or one playoff, which is possible 10 in the 2026 World Cup that Canada, America, and Mexico are hosting, because the World Cup will be expanded. And even at that, doesn't mean. But the reason why we had it like that was, one, coefficiency and lack of good teams coming from Africa. But then, I mean, there are 54 countries in Europe, 54 countries in Africa. We should have it the same. But the thing about power is not giving, it is taking. Europe have had that 13 slot. Nobody's going to wake up and say, we are nice, so let's give you 5 or 4 from our 13, so that we are 9, you are 9. No, it doesn't work like that. They've had their position based on merit, even though they have other weaker countries coming from Europe. But look at it. There's Germany, there's France, there's Italy, there's England, there's Belgium, there's Spain, and some other countries that are coming. Europe can name at least 10 countries. Of those 10, 6 superpowers, previous winners. So in Europe, you say Spain is a previous winner, Germany is a previous winner, Italy is a previous winner, England, 1966, but they're previous winner. France, 94, 98, and what's it called? 2018, the previous winner. So they have 5 powerhouse from Europe can stand. And then you now have all those countries like Russia, Belgium, who've not won it, but then they could still stand their own. So they always have that edge. Plus the fact that they have a better league, they have better efficiency, and they are the most powerful bloc in FIFA. So if you put it to vote, they are the only bloc in all of the FIFA 205 nations that can collapse FIFA. Africa cannot. Okay, South America cannot. They're already small. The other people forget them. Asia, Oceania, and the rest of them forget them. So that power is key, and it's not given; it is wrestled. So Africa needs to go to the World Cup and find a way to present 3 teams in the semifinals, 4 teams in the quarterfinals, and then everybody listen. Anything when I say if we do it consistently over 5 years, over 5 editions of the World Cup, when I come and say, look, we need 15 slots or 10 slots or 13 slots, people will listen to us. But for now, we keep going and getting knocked out in the group stage, considering scandalous number of goals, red card, and the rest. We don't matter. We just don't matter. But let's see how it goes. The ship will sail. I like your name. They say, not African football is not creative. No, it's the simplest form of European football. Get the ball, pass it around, and go. They don't have flair players, so you won't blame them. Creativity is a product of flair because it requires high IQ, ability to hold on to the ball and do some stuff. And some of the best players from North Africa, let's be very honest, it's easy for them to just assimilate and go to Europe. One of the greatest players of the world came from Algeria. He played all his career for France or Zinedine Zidane. And before you know it, the harvest again from Africa is also a problem. If all these players that they are taking away from us, we're given a good league, a good system to grow here, maybe we'll compete. Well, as it is, I don't think so. I mean, Bukayo Saka will play against Nigeria, score against Nigeria, and celebrate. He doesn't have a connection with Nigeria. So think about that one. Hybrid 10, he said, I disagree vehemently that African country will not win the World Cup in our lifetime. Okay, disagree. This is the place where I don't have a fact to put for you. You don't have a fact to put to me. But the evidence on ground, we have not reached the semi-finals of the World Cup. Not talk of winning it. We're not going to win now. I'm basing my evidence on fact on ground since we started attending the World Cup and the reality of how our football will go. So I'm making a projection into the future and saying, based on all of these things and the way we behave, in 1990 and 94, African players were still passionate about playing for their national team. From 98 up until now, the interest, the passion to play for the national team is beginning to diminish. You think that lack of passion, you think it will make us win the World Cup? Bro, let's be very honest. Even the average Nigerian African individual are not interested in African team anymore. Nobody is willing to put their life on the line and say, look, I'm ready to go. If the clubs had insisted on not releasing their player for this AFCON, African players will stay. So let me shock you. They're playing qualifiers and some funny competition in South America. All European League went on break. Even the EPL that had never gone on break before went on 18 days break and they pretend it's a warm weather thing. EPL have never done warm weather for 18 days. But it went on 18 days break. But these were the same people who were complaining, little tournament in Africa, not willing to release their players, holding on to their players. But now they went on break, not because of AFCON, but because of some stupid tournament that's not sanctioned by FIFA in South America. Very, very strange. Think about that. So naturally, African players are not committed. It takes more than coaching tactics and all that to win the nations, to win the World Cup. You want to win the World Cup, you've got to be like Chelsea of 2012. You've got to the players have got to tell themselves, forget whether we get a good coach or not, we're going there to die. Even if we concede 87-minute goal, we are going to kill ourselves. Drogba is going to jump above everybody, break his neck to make sure he put the ball in the net. We don't have that in the collective. So for me, Africa not going to win the World Cup. 2 minutes, or less than 2 minutes to the end. Let me finish reading all your messages. Hybrid 10 say local coaches. Okay, I don't know what you mean by that anyway. Okay. About the playing style. But ask yourself why we keep hiring foreign coaches. Thus, my support for local coaches. Okay. And those are part of the reason why we will not make progress. Because even our local coaches are not living up. If you employ a foreign coach, you brought in Gonotro, you brought in 3 assistants that he's paying from his pocket. You employ Guavon, he accepted non-paid coaches to be his assistant coaches, meaning that they cannot even contribute. They're just there. You see the difference? You're not qualified. If you want to work with me now in my radio station, you have to come with something. But if you are maybe like you're just a freelancer and somebody comes out, I can talk sports, you want them to fill your space, right? My show, I've had many people come like, as you're traveling, let me anchor your show. You know, I don't agree. It will be shortage. They'll be cheating the listeners because they're not offering half of what I would offer on the show. So it will be disrespectful to the audience to bring in anybody who will use their show, their precious show, to learn how to do the job. That's the reason why I've not had somebody. Emmanuel Sebastian is that good. also travels just about the same time I'm traveling, and he lives very far. Give me quarter to come here when I'm not around is hard. That's why the show doesn't go on. So it's the same thing with these coaches. Black African coaches, they are yes men. They take it. Let's say now we'll get to the finals and you see it's the foreign coach that's in the finals. All the local coaches would have been sleeved out of their own African Cup of Nations. Go look at the Euros. When was the time you saw a foreign coach win the Euro for any country? Look at the World Cup. Tell me the last time you saw a foreign coach goes to take a country and win the World Cup. We don't have it. Let's not argue about that. Okay? The ship will sail. He said, people whitewash people. That's true. Michael, he said, why are you so confident that DR Congo will qualify for the World Cup? I don't want to say it now because if I say it now, it looks like I jinxed it. Let's wait. I will explain this later. If they don't also qualify to, I will still tell you the reason. But I don't want to say it now because if I say it, it will be serious conspiracy theory. So let me just calm down. But I know that those people will qualify. DR Congo, Morocco, sorry. People need to do more than play football. You need to play politics. Wait for it. By now, I'm supposed to be smell the thing while they talk, but I don't know why. I never even know why they talk this thing. But let's keep our fingers crossed. Emmanuel Okonta, I still agree with you that no African country would win it in our lifetime. My reason is not based on playing style, but more on organization and emotion. Many African teams loses their mind and focus. True. Afro Nation TV say our biggest problem is scoring goals in all tournaments. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. The ship was saying, he said it was a good thing that Nigeria lost to Tunisia. You need to lose to improve. Nigeria need to improve. But that theory need to work for Nigeria. So sometimes I feel it need to work with us. What did I say? Where did I stop? This is always going up. People always say it can never happen until it happens. No, not this one. There are things that can never happen, my brother. Nigerian naira will not be equal to a dollar in our lifetime. It's not. See, some of these things are not rocket science, and it's not miracle. It's not something you pray and God will show up and do it. If you want to make Nigerian naira equal to dollar, we have to export as much as we are importing right now. That's all. We have to grow and produce 95% of what we take. Now, pause and think. As powerful as the Chinese economy have the Chinese yen be equal to the dollar? No. Can we, in our lifetime, make our economy half as powerful as the Chinese economy? The answer again is no. So it's the same thing in football. Use that same theory in football. No country have won the World Cup with a foreign coach. The countries that win the World Cup always have their coaches from their place. That's why. Countries don't win the World Cup when they don't have a good league system. No country have won the World Cup with 90% of its players playing outside of the shores of its country. No country has also won the World Cup with the system of play being foreign. Nigeria or all African countries, predominantly, all their players are playing abroad. Majority of the African countries that always represent Africa at the World Cup predominantly have foreign coaches. All the African countries that are going to the World Cup, that will be going to the World Cup, predominantly don't play African style of football. They play European style of football. How do you win the World Cup like that? What's going to change it? Is there any sign? Look at ordinary O-level CAF licensing coaching course. We've not done anyone in Nigeria since 2017, meaning that the coaches that got training in 2017 have been stopped. All the young coaches coming through the rank, no one can even coach because without that certificate, you can't coach at certain level, you can't apply for certain job. They have all been stopped just there. It's like you're going to school, you get to primary 5, they say the school never built class for primary 6. And there are no schools for JSS 1 and 2. So you're stuck in that class for 2017 to now, for 5 years. That's what we are. Those are the little things. Football is a game of margin. Those are the little things that can make or break. Okay. So until we fix those parts, nothing will happen. Our biggest problem is okay, I've read that one. The ship will say it was a good thing that Nigeria got lose. Now then we would qualify for the World Cup. Emmanuel Okota said lose their mind, lose their mind and focus in key moments. As great as our 94 team were, emotion led to our loss. You need to read this book. If you read this book, you hate the 94 team. If you read this book, just read this book. That thing that I've been saying about the team since, even without reading this book, you will see all of them in this book. Like when I read this book, I'm like, wow, you don't say why I know football because you could see it like these boys were rubbish, they're killing themselves. But you need to go and buy this book. That's it. Take also. Yes. Say hi to everybody. Good. Yeah, come down. Go and meet your mom in the kitchen. Good. Okay, so where was I? Makiwa, he said the sheep. He said, I agree. Good, we lost to Tunisia. We'll be very serious against Ghana. We must win that game. I think the players want to win that game. Michael Makiwa, I say, okay, no, don't say that one. African teams get robbed by refs. No, no. Was it a referee that made Asamoah Gyan to miss that penalty? No. Was it a referee that made Senegal not to beat Turkey in 2002? No. It is just who we are. Sometimes you need to know that when you're playing against this team that are technical, they will come with all those tricks. You have to prepare your mind for it. We lost to Italy not because of referee. We lost to Italy because we're not good. As a matter of fact, in 1994, the referee gave Italy Zola red card. We could have capitalized on it, but we didn't take the chances because Okocha was playing Tumba football and everybody was clapping. That's who we are. We got carried away and we lost. Roberto Mossi got the ball passed to Bagley, put it in the net. Italy was not playing in that game, but it is what it is. My players also are interested in Osimhen. Any info, Osimhen is not going there. Arsenal is also interested, but they're not selling him. The only Nigerian major transfer, Samuel Kalu to Watford, that one is done already. I might decide, we need the money, let's sell him. Okay, the ship will say African teams have to outplay the ref. Emmanuel Kota is also not having a good local league is also a drawback. The fact that our kids have to leave the shore of our countries to go and unlearn what they have learned at the start of their career. Yeah, that's one of the biggest problems, as a matter of fact. Okay, it would always block us, no matter how we pretend that doesn't matter. Because a lot of people will say it no matter, but that's something that we must also consider in this game. Every time say people always say it can never happen until it happens. It will not happen. This will not happen in our lifetime. The ship will sail. African teams have the skills and talent. They just need to get to the level of play that they can outplay the referee. Now we are making excuses. Let me just use one example academically. And for those of you that are here that are in the US, you will understand this thing more. Let's leave us in Africa because they will say our educational system is bad, it's not good enough. In America and Europe, in classes, Africans, especially the West African students, are always the best. They are on Dean's List, they are honor roll, they are the best in everything they do. But guess what? When they come out of school, those white children, those Americans, those real Americans or real Europeans become heads of companies. Why? Because in application, we lose our mind. Look, Nigeria have the highest amount of professors in the whole of Africa. Nigeria is like Sao Paulo. There are more skyscrapers in Sao Paulo than the whole of Africa. Nigeria have more professors in Africa, but there are no research coming from those professors. My question is, why are people becoming professors in Nigeria? So we have some things just for title, but in the place of application, we are not that good. And in football, you win matches with application. Look at that game we played against Tunisia. Tunisia players just apply themselves better than us. They know when to fall and break down our reading. They know when to frustrate the game. They know when to go look for the goal. They were tactically exceptional. But our players just were one dimensional. Coach said, we'll play like this, and that was it. I've heard the Super Eagles players say that the reason why they didn't play well under Ganetro was Ganetro was holding them back. And I was like, is it Ganetro that said Moses Simon should not cross the ball accurately to Sime or to Vanuatu or to its teammates? It can't be him. You've got to apply yourself. Do you have it? No. That's where it is different. Look at all the teams that have won the World Cup in the last 10 editions. One thing is consistent. Each team have minimum 3 key players that causes problem for the opposition. From the days of Maradona, Borushaga, and the rest of them, up to the German team of Lothar Matthäus, Klinsmann, Rudi Völler, and Andres Bremer, to the 1994 Brazilian team that had Donga, Romário, Bebeto, and Jairzinho. And then you have the France 98 team that have Thuram. That one is even more than 3. Thuram, Bizanto Lizarazu, Barthez, Patrick Vieira, Zinedine Zidane. Let's not even mention Thierry Henry because really wasn't like an influential player, but that's 5. Then you add, this is me minusing Frank Leboeuf and Marcel Desailly, even though they are very key players. And then you go to 2002 Brazil team that have Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Dalima, and the rest of the team. And then you move there to 2006 when who won in 2006 again? It's Germany, right? No. Who won in 2006? Who won the World Cup in 2006? I've forgotten. Damn. 2010 Spain. Well, let me try to remember 2006. 2010 Spain, you have the Madrid guy, Sergio Ramos, you have Ike Casillas, you have Iniesta, Xavi, Sergio Busquets, David Villa, and the rest of them. Okay, so every team I've had at the core of their World Cup winning team, you have minimum 5 exceptional players. 5. Reason why England could not win the World Cup, they had only 2 exceptional players, or 1, Harry Kane. And the game he got to sleep was the game he got knocked out. So you need 5 exceptional players. Tell me an African team that can produce 5 exceptional players at the same time. It's never happened in the last God knows how long. It's not going to happen. So it's not. It's not. Because they're coached by different coaches, different philosophy. Players easily get money and they become God unto themselves. Hey, we need Jesus to come coach our team for that to happen. The ship will say African teams have the skill, the talent. They just need to get to the level of play that they can outplay the referees. Metala Law 419. He said Brazil and Argentina also draw a majority of their teams from foreign leagues. Yes, but now look at the difference. Brazil and Argentina follow this last analogy that I just gave of each team that they have that have won the World Cup have minimum 5 exceptional players. Argentina have not gone to win the World Cup since they won it last in 1990. The reason being that they've not had any team, any generation of their team that had 5 exceptional players. They've always had maybe 2 or 3, Messi and one other person. And most of the exceptional players, aside Messi, have not lived up to the billing. Higuain, Aguero has never had any good World Cup outing. The last World Cup that they went to the finals, they played against a team that already beat Brazil 7-1 in the semi-final. A team that the entire starting 11 are star players. Even the guys coming from the bench are exceptionally good. And you saw what happened. Next extra time winning goal for Germany. Africa don't have that. So even if you're going to back it up with the argument that, oh, these people bring their best players from abroad, we don't have what it takes to produce 5 exceptional players in a team in a World Cup here. We've never had it, and it's not going to happen. So how are we going to win the World Cup? And he went on to say, I do agree that the organization issue is holding African countries back, and all that money, bickering, rubbish never fails to rise every time. You said it all. Every time there's always people tell much bonus, because they're only negotiate more salary. See, let's be honest. If you work for a boss that before the end of the month your salary is paid, your level of commitment is different. You work for a company where you work for 6 months, then they pay you 1 month. Your level of commitment is also different. The way you treat company properties and the rest of them is different. So it's just no brainer. If you're sure that your money is it not Ozil that went to World Cup in 2014, won the World Cup, and gave a whole $250,000 to hospital in Brazil? Nigerian players don't try it because even going to the tournament, they don't have the money. It's not African player that will try it. They'll finish playing that game, their money will not come to them. They'll wait for Jesus or do prayer, fasting and prayer before the money will come in trenches. Tell you, we'll pay 3 months, so we'll pay the other one. And then they'll start using media to blackmail you. I say, can't even leave the money. What is the money to you? After all we've done for you. Blah, 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 blah. The sheikh will say, those are just big names. No, there's no such thing as big names. They come to the party. Hybrid time say, how can Nigerian coaches mitigate bias refereeing at the World Cup? Simple. During press conference, our coaches should insinuate that FIFA referees are corrupt, but deny that he believes they are. No, you can't try that one. If you try, referees are caught. If you try that one, you never win match. That one is for sure. You never win match. Train your players to be able to get passes. It's all mind games. Hybrid time. It's funny how you talk confidently like you see tomorrow. Some cases, I hope you're right. Some cases, I hope you're wrong. I wish the better. I think since 2007 up until now, I've earned the right to talk like this. The reason being that I said things that nobody can dare say. And this is not me getting arrogant, but this is a fact. 2013, Alex Ferguson said that, and I said the next season they are going to end the 7th. You know what it takes to say that? a team that's never in the Premier League era go below third. With all those players, they're the defending champion. I say they are going to end the seventh, and they ended the season the seventh. 1 year before the World Cup, I said Germany is going to win the World Cup. Argentina is going to play in the final, but Germany will win it. Germany ended up winning the World Cup in 2014. July 2nd, 2016, the World Cup draws was made. Nigeria had not qualified for 2 Nations Cup consecutively. Nigeria is terrible. Teams are scattered. There's no goalkeeper. The draws was made. Nigeria, Zambia, Algeria, Cameroon in one group. And I predicted that Nigeria was going to qualify with a game or 2 to spare. And it happened. Barcelona lost 4-0 to Paris Saint-Germain in Paris. And I came out and predicted. I was watching that Neymar video and I said, wait, did I really predict 6-1 in this game? And I predicted that this game, the return leg went 6-1. 3 weeks later, the game ended 6-1. And I could go on and on. In 2012, Chelsea was having a horrible season. And I said they were going to win the Champions League. But not only that, the next season they'll get knocked out from the group stage and go on to win Europa. They ended up. So I've earned the right to be able to say that. It's not magic. It's just like you begin to make something a pattern. Some will go wrong. Some will go wrong. Remember when your club was employed and I said, in 5 years' time, this guy will win the league. It was crazy. Like, club that not won the league in 30 years. Your club, who is he to just come and win the league in 5 years' time? That's exactly what he did. When I said, everybody was saying that English league will humble Pep. I said, no, Pep would redefine the Premier League by his own standard. So it has happened. But the reason is there are certain indices that gives you the boldness to do that. Some also have gone wrong. I made some predictions that have gone wrong, but I'm proud of the ones that I've said. When Arsenal played in the finals of Champions League and lost, I said that. I said, Wenger, if you like, let him stay at Arsenal for the next 10, 15 years. It's not going to see the Champions League final. Arsenal is not going to get to semi-finals again, but then he's also not going to win the league again. People said I was crazy. And you know how it is. People will call your boss. I said, this young boy, he's being overconfident. He's going to destroy your radio station. See where we are. But I've also gotten some wrong. Let me know that. I predicted that Nigeria was going to win this Nations Cup. So that's a wrong prediction. As in woeful oneself. I predicted we're going to win. 2013 too, I predicted that we're going to win. We won. But hey, there are some that I've gotten wrong. I've gotten some woefully wrong. I predicted when Bayern won the Champions League 2 seasons ago, I actually predicted that Paris Saint-Germain were going to win it. They lost in the finals. I predicted from the beginning that they were going to win it, but they lost. So I've also gotten some wrong anyway. So it's not like I'm always correct. Emmanuel Okota said Chinese are intentionally keeping their currency depressed to give them the edge on manufacturing and export. I agree with you on that one. Yeah, but at the same time, I don't see us. Why I use that as analogies? Even with all of that, their currency have not gone up. What do we have to make our currency? So some things are just clear no-brainer that look, if you do this, you will get this. If you do this, we are acting like somebody who slept with a woman with that condom and pretending, and when they tell I'm pregnant, you start acting surprised. How? When? What happened? No. The result we get is already based on the output we put in. When we decide to train our coaches very well, we decide to hone our skills and make sure that our players playing in the local league and our domestic league have competitive chance in the national team. And those guys coming for Europe knows that if they don't play hard enough, they will not win the shirt. Then we can start talking of us going to, not even winning the World Cup now, going to the semi-finals of the World Cup, quarterfinals and semi-finals. But until then, round of 16, knockout stage, we're good. Ivory Ten, you say, cute kid, thank you very much. Metal of One, I say, cute kid, thank you very much. Temi Pekerebia, I say, Piki. Thank you so much. I was supposed to end this thing by 1 hour. You guys are stretching me again. I'm tired. I'm stressed. I want to go and eat. Emmanuel Okota, I say, nice soundtrack from your future. Thank you very much. He said Senegal got robbed 2 goals against Colombia in the last World Cup. They were not robbed. I beg. The refs are biased against African teams. That's also. Or Italy. Yes, 2006 was Italy. Yes, was Italy. But I think I predicted that one 16 years. Yeah, I predicted 2006. I remember. Italy won it. But that was mathematical. That prediction was mathematical. So let me tell you guys one trick that works. And, see, the thing about every job you do, you want to stand out. If I tell you guys this secret, now then anytime I predict it will not be important anymore. Should I say it? No, let's keep it. Let's keep it a straight secret. And now I say We need to also hire a psychologist. Super Eagles have psychologists. Dr. Emmanuel is doing a very good job. For our team, they need to know how to manage emotion and also know how to milk advantage. But hey, Celebrate, I had a dream that Nigeria will not reach anywhere until we treat Cerides as fairly and invite him. We did not offend him now. We invited him one time, he didn't take it serious now. That dream is what you were thinking of during the day that happened. Wisdom Wakoma, he said, I like the way you present your analysis, backing it up with fact. Very nice, thank you very much. Well, analysis is based on fact anyway. So I mean I think it's what every other person do. It's just that these days the millennials that are going into analysis, they're too one-sided. They don't do much research. This job is not about research. Now nobody I don't think that there's something like you study well, you know. Once you're ready to research, you're good. If you're not ready to research, and if you're ready to research, you know that thing that happens in school where you can read, but when you face exam, you're not able to remember what you read. That will affect some people. But for me, I think maybe because I studied engineering, I've always been a reader, so I can carry up what I read, research. And I always ask questions. So let me tell you how I watch a football match. I watch a football match with multiple eyes. I watch a football game with the eyes of the fan, a neutral fan. My team is not playing neutral fan. There's also the eye of a fanatical fan. Nigeria is playing, I'm a fanatical fan. I want us to win. Then I watch the game with the eye of a player. If I'm in this game, what would I be doing? What would I expect from my midfielder, my defender, my attackers? You know, how would I make my runs into the channel, back up the lines? How would I hold myself not to run into offside? When I receive the ball, what would be my three options? Because every time you hold the ball, primarily you have three options. Then there is the secondary two options, which make it five. But in football, you first have, because there are three arrows in football: receive, retain, and return. Those are the basics of football. Then you go to the exceptional. No, before you go to this exceptional, you go to the high performance level where you can receive, retain. Before you return, you can dribble. You know, you can weave yourself through, cancel people. So let's say, for instance, in a team, if you have five exceptional players or skillful players, you actually have 11 plus five extra. So you're 16 playing against 11. What I mean by that is every time that your exceptional player holds the ball, two or three players are marking him, and he can use one move to eliminate those three, like a Zidane, for instance. If he eliminates those three with one move, what happens is three players already on his side. The other nine of your outfield player minus your goalkeeper now have to deal with only seven players. So you see, Bayern uses it a lot. Pep Guardiola also uses it a lot. So if you now play like that, let's say he's playing that exceptional player, one of your exceptional players on the side, like you have Robben and you have Frank Ribery. Once he eliminates three, he's not leaving nine people against seven. Because even when he releases the ball, people are still tracking him, running with him because they know that he might get the ball again. They're running with him. So any shift makes it easy for these people. So it is, you see a 4 against 2 or 3 against 2 kind of situation in the team. So you watch the game like that. Then I watch the game too if I was a coach, okay, based on my coaching experience. So if I was a coach, how would I, tactically approach this game? Now that I've seen my opposition in the first 45 minutes or the first 10 minutes of the game, what are the adjustments I need to make? Then I also sometimes look at the game as an owner, holistically. If I'm the president of the FA or I'm the owner of this club, what will be running in my head right now? If the coach comes to me with a transfer request, does it justify it with the players he's got? Does it deserve me signing another player? Then there is a what I do, which is not currently my job. To watch the game as an analyst. So I'm watching this game. What are the things that I'm going to go tell my listeners that will keep them for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours on the show that they will not switch off? I used to do that a lot when I was in Brilla because I see every other radio station as a competition. I want to be on air. Sometimes I just say, okay, you know what? What will keep us on the show today is force the fans to argue. So say something very ridiculous by the starting of the show. So you go on there and you say something wrong. Manchester United will not win the league. And they're on top of the league table. Those first set of people who hear it, maybe 20, 30, 50 are Man United fans. They pick up their phone, they are provoked, they want to call. Then you start doing your normal analysis, but those guys are already angry. They're not hearing what you're saying again. They just provoke, they're angry. Or you go on there and it's like, say this, I know how to rile up Chelsea fan back in. Alexis Sanchez is better than Eden Hazard. Fuck, man. People are dead. Like, once you say that thing, they're all going crazy. So you start your show, you must always start your show. This is trade secret now. Start your show with something that will piss people off or that will force people to stay with you. You must also calculate the mood. Sometimes when Chelsea plays on a Saturday, I'm going to come on Monday and they've been beaten, say they've been beaten seriously. Every other analyst have taken time to tear them down,
On Monday, I'll come with hope. And I'll start giving you statistics of how many times Chelsea lost like this, and then they bounced back, and then they went on 10 games winning. Chelsea fans are happy again. So you must be able to regulate the mood and emotions of the fans as you go on the show. That's what's kept me anyway. But then you also have to be dynamic. Don't be one way, one dimensional in the way you go about it. Emmanuel Kota said we need to also hire. Okay, I've seen that one before. Wisdom. He said I like the way you present. Thank you very much. I've seen that one. He's a correct guy that calls out his own feelings, makes you more credible. Thank you very much. No, everybody feels. Everybody. I'm not God. Everybody feels. One way or the other, you will get some things wrong. Like you look very foolish. Like, hey, God, why did I say that? But you said it, and then you need to come on air and say, "Well, I said this," because the way you celebrate your correct prediction, you should be able to come out and say, "I said this, so I got it all wrong." Answer. Like I predicted in the next World Cup that Italy will play in the finals against Argentina or any other team. When Italy didn't qualify directly, if you see my inbox, boy, attacking me, saying all sorts of things. I told them I still stand by my prediction until Italy does not qualify. Then I'll make another prediction. But I think Italy will play in the next World Cup. Like this thing that I've said about DR Congo now. I went to Cameroon and I saw people who I didn't even know who've heard that prediction. They were all, sit down, sit down. What do you see for DR Congo? You know that they are, especially when they made the draw, you know they are going to play against Morocco. Morocco is one of the best teams in the African Nations Cup. I said, okay, I even pray Morocco wins the Nations Cup, but they will not make the World Cup. I said, what do you see for them? Who is a player? The worst part is they never qualify for this Nations Cup. I said, that's the reason why they will qualify for the World Cup. Now, I might lose that prediction. Let's not lie. I might lose it. But until I lose it, I'm holding on to it. When we're done, if they qualify, I will explain why. If they don't qualify, I will explain why. But let's keep our fingers crossed. But take it that I tell you this. The reason why this Nations Cup was held this January, February is because of the president of the ROC Congo. I'm beginning to give you a clue to why DRC Congo will qualify. But let's wait. Let's keep our fingers crossed and see how it goes. Finally, Temi Bekarabi, I said, can the German coaching and football revolution happen in Africa? For it to happen, the government must invest like the German government invested in 1990. If we don't do that, we will not be able to achieve it. And finally, Abeg, did you break down the Guavon Pasero saga early? Yes, I did. I joined the stream midway. NFF really messed this whole thing and appointment big time. No, okay. So let me end with that. I'm not going to answer any question again. Read any comment again. Let me sign out with that. NFF didn't mess up. So everybody wanted Raw to go. NFF didn't want to be so stubborn and get to a place where the team lose and everybody's attacking them. So they accepted and they fired Raw. While they were working on that, they brought in Iguavon. Iguavon was not, listen, let's be honest and be fair to the NFF. As much as I want to bash them and I'm in a hurry to, I also want to be fair. I've not seen what they've done wrong that will make me bash them. Nigerians did not accept Iguavon. And there was also fear that the players would not respect Iguavon. Iguavon also, over the years, have not created his own team. See, coaches create their team. If you see Mourinho goes somewhere, he goes with his team. Conte comes to Spurs, he goes with his team. That's what coaching is. But because Nigerian coaches are averagely self-centered and selfish, they don't build a team. They always feel like it is me, myself, and I. Even we journalists, we are like that. We hardly build a team. I know how many people who come to me and say, you know, I even feel shop. You don't want to build people around you. Who go feed them? Who go take them? But I like a team because if you look at America, generally, every celebrity have a team. This Neymar video that we're watching on Netflix, do you know that the executive producer is LeBron James? Imagine LeBron James investing in a football star because you have to pay guy the right to get that 3 episodes of Neymar, the perfect chaos. You've not seen that with African teams. So he came in, all the assistants that they gave him are not his assistant. He just came in and sat down there. Now, the NFF, knowing that professionally that is not even right in the first place, but Iguavon does not have the power to demand for his team. They didn't expect Iguavon to do well. They felt like the team is already done, not good enough, time is too short. Let's get Pesero. In case we get knocked out of the group stage, Pesero will come. But they also protected themselves. They didn't sign a contract with Pesero. So there is actually no contract with Pesero, but they just felt like let's keep that in case we have a disastrous outing. Now we got to the Nations Cup. The team performed well in the group stage, got knocked out. So there's a scale. There's a scale that says, but they did well in the group stage now. And then there's the other side of the scale says, but we lost to Tunisia not because we didn't have players or because Tunisia was better than us, but because we're not tactically good. And tactics is what a coach brings. We're not tactically good. We couldn't read the game. We couldn't do all that. So someone like me is making a case for Iguamon to say, but he changed his tactics. That means the coach saw his mistake and tried to correct it. He changed his tactics in the second half. Went from a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-4, a 4-4-2, yeah, a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-4. Either way, we moved to that tournament. To a 3-5-2. That's an adjustment. And we almost got the goals through Umar Sadiq. It just didn't happen. He didn't list Chidera Ejuke. I can't blame him because the games that Chidera Ejuke still played, he didn't live up well. So on that one, when I have an argument, let him stay, let him go. Let him stay, let him go. I think the let him stay will win until the Ghana game. And I hope that he wins that one. If he wins that one convincingly, he would have made a case for himself to go to the World Cup. So that's where we stand. Well, it's on this note that I'm going to leave. And one thing I want to say, for those of you who keep watching me do live, thank you very much. Those of you that have not subscribed, please do what to subscribe. Beyond subscribing, I want to say massive thank you to everybody who always contributes on the super chat. Like, it means a whole lot to me. You just sit down watching people giving you their hard-earned money. Thank you so much. God bless you all. I don't know about tomorrow, about this time, or probably after the last game in the night, I will be here again to do another live. But right now, I've got to run. I've got some homeworks to do, things to do with my kids, since I'm most likely going to be traveling on Monday. Thank you. God bless you. When I'm in Abuja again, we'll still have the live stream. I hope if you enjoy it, invite your friends to subscribe to our channels, click on the notification button, and have for yourself a great day. I got to run. My name is still Edafi. Matthew Seven. You love to come in the Elevator One Sports, and this has been a live stream on Elevator TV Sports YouTube channel. God bless you guys.